Tonight on News Central 34, students from the Florida Parkland shooting have made their way to the state capitol to protest the current gun laws. We'll have more on that coming up.
And more details on the death of evangelist Billy Graham. News Central 34 starts now.
From mid-Michigan, Mount Pleasant's own News Central at 5 o'clock starts now.
Hello and welcome to News Central 34. I'm Kylie Gaddy.
And I'm James Young. We start tonight heading out to the Chippewa River where meteorologist Woody Unruh is updating us on the flooding conditions. Woody?
Thank you guys. I'm currently reporting right now in Mill Pond Park in Mount Pleasant alongside the Chip River. And check this out, the river is actually quite overflowing. It is currently at flood stage right now, which is 8 feet above its typical banks. In fact, look out there. There's actually a tree stuck in the river. That tree is not supposed to be there, folks. So that has definitely been pushed down here from all the flood waters. And this flood is expected to continue until later tomorrow, as the flood warning will expire for Clare, Isabel, and Gratiot counties. That's going to expire tomorrow at 1 p.m. Now, for areas below the Chippewa River, which is below Mount Pleasant on the Chippewa River, that flood warning is going to continue until tomorrow, or Friday, at 11 a.m. Until then, though, if you see any water in low-lying areas across the area, make sure not to drive on those. Use the one rule of thumb, turn around and don't drown, because you don't know how deep that water is on the road, and it could be potentially dangerous. So overall, though, the rain has stopped, and the river is going to slowly start going back down to its normal state. We just hit maximum crest earlier today, according to the National Weather Service. So overall, the river is going to start calming down, and meteorologist Samantha Droop is going to have more details coming up later in the show, but now we're going to throw it back to the desk.
Wayside Central hosted the Polar Plunge this past Saturday, and News Central 34's Lauren Youssef has the story.
Hundreds of Mount Pleasant citizens gather at Wayside Central to take the plunge for Special Olympics. Special Olympics is a year-round program that provides sports and training competition for those with intellectual disabilities. The Polar Plunge is just one of the many ways the community comes together to raise money and awareness for Special Olympics. Senior Development Chair Andrea Ranko began as a Special Olympics intern here in Michigan and fell in love with the cause.
The Polar Plunge is a fun and zany event where individuals in groups and teams raise money to jump in the water. And the Polar Plunge brings a lot of awareness, and it also raises a lot of funds. There's no cost for the family and the athletes to attend events, so this helps cut those costs and be able to send more and more people to our state, regional, and local events.
The Law Enforcement Torch Run is the single largest grassroots fundraising effort for Special Olympics International. They are made up of local law enforcement departments who assist in raising money for Special Olympics. The Mount Pleasant Polar Plunge raised just over $50,000 this year, but the event is still open for donations.
Here at CMU, we have a student group, and then we have another committee that kind of hits the community. And the student committee hits campus, gets different people on campus involved, gets Greek Life, gets different RSOs. So they come out and they support the cause and do the recruitment on campus, so peer-to-peer fundraising and registration.
Visit the Special Olympics office on Central Michigan University's campus or go online to somi.org to learn how to donate, volunteer, or support the cause. For News Central 34, I'm Lauren Youssef.
CMU Athletic Director Michael Alford is certainly feeling the Chippewa excitement. A note from the athletic director himself said, quote, "To the city of Mount Pleasant, due to the Chippewa NCAA fever, all of the city can have Monday off and come to Columbus. Please use this as an excuse for school and work." Alford ended the note with a fire up Chips for good measure. Unfortunately for Mount Pleasant, school and work wasn't canceled, but that isn't stopping the city from celebrating and preparing for the team's next matchup. News Central's own Dana White is currently outside Hunter's Ale House right here in Mount Pleasant to see how the Chips here at home are getting ready for the game. Dana?
Yes, James, I'm here live at Hunter's Ale House. Join with me is General Manager Pat Simons. Pat, thank you for being here with me today. Problem. Yeah, so we're here for the Central Michigan Women's Basketball Preview Party. It's the furthest they've gotten in the NCAA tournament. So how many people do you think we're expecting here?
We're probably going to have over 200 people in the building for this one, especially with it being a weekday game. Not a lot of people had a chance to go down to the game like they did over the weekend, so a lot of them are all going to come here to watch it on the screen and cheer on the team.
So how excited are you personally just that the team has gotten this far in the tournament?
Actually, we're all super excited here. We have been doing all the watch parties for the women's games for all postseason. Been doing it, gosh, probably for the last 5 or 6 seasons since I've been around. And so we follow the women's team like hardcore here. Yeah. And we're all pretty big fans. We're super proud of Team 50 for all that they've done thus far, and hopefully we'll continue to do.
Cool. So at here, Hunter's Ale House, game starts at 6:30, but start piling now. People are already coming in and getting their tables. So reporting live at Hunter's Ale House, I'm Dana White, News Central 34.
A longtime Cirque du Soleil performer died after a fall during a show in Tampa, Florida on Saturday night. Amanda Shivari spoke with one of the people that was in the audience.
I can't get it out of my head.
Julian Martinez was in the crowd Saturday night for the performance of Volta. He noticed one of the performers during the rope swings, describing him as struggling.
I saw the performer visibly straining to hold onto the rope. I saw like the two acrobatics exchanging glances beforehand, and I don't know if one was trying to ensure that the other one was okay, but at that point you could tell that something might happen.
And sadly, something did happen. That performer fell from the rope onto the stage. It was not part of the show.
That didn't look good. It looked like I don't want to say he hit head first, but he did, like, just upper portion just made immediate contact with the floor.
Immediately after, medical staff rushed to the stage. You can see him here in this video recorded just after the fall. Martinez says he never saw the man move after.
It was awful. You heard all the cries in the audience. There was children there, and they're freaking out.
News Channel 8 has learned that man died after being rushed to the hospital. Martinez can't help but think if he noticed the performer struggling to keep his grip, why wasn't more done?
I wish someone would have noticed it and stepped in. It just kind of colors your opinion on everything that's happening behind the scenes and what's the cost of our entertainment at that point.
The last 2 shows of Volta scheduled for Sunday were canceled after the incident. Cirque du Soleil officials have said that they are working with authorities as they look into what happened. That was Amanda Shivari reporting from Tampa, Florida.
Let's take a look at what's trending. Uber is pulling self-driving cars from the roads after a fatal crash in Arizona. The self-driving SUV hit and killed a woman walking outside of a crosswalk Sunday night. Tempe police say that the vehicle was in an autonomous mode when the vehicle operated behind the wheel. Uber officials issued a statement Monday saying the company is cooperating with the investigation.
Hashtag Marlon Bundo is trending on Twitter after John Oliver trolled Mike Pence and his upcoming book release about his family bunny. Last night, Oliver announced the release of his children's book, A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo, just one day before the vice president and his family released their own Marlon Bundo children's book. Oliver's version tells the story of Marlon Bundo falling in love with another boy rabbit.
The girl group Fifth Harmony is taking an indefinite hiatus. They announced their plan to explore their solo endeavors on Twitter today. The group lost their first member when artist Camila Cabello in 2016. She left for a solo career. Fifth Harmony thanked their fans for their love and support.
2 Grand Rapids men are accused of killing a 16-year-old girl after one of the men was charged with sexually assaulting her, according to the Detroit Free Press. 42-year-old Quinn James allegedly raped the high school student last summer. While awaiting that trial, James was set free on bond. James and 58-year-old Gerald Bennett then allegedly kidnapped and killed the girl in January. James is charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and sexual assault, while Bennett is charged with conspiracy to commit murder. The investigation is still ongoing. The 4 remaining pods that provided bottled water to the city of Flint closed last night after a proposal to keep them open failed to pass. Councilman Eric Mays proposed at a city council meeting on Monday to use $2 million from the city's general fund to keep the sites open. The Michigan Department of Environmental Quality said that the pods would have to be closed immediately and that Flint's water was up to the standards of the federal government. However, there are many community locations that will continue to provide water for Flint residents. That list can be accessed at www.cityoflint.com/water-sites.
A major development on Capitol Hill today as House Speaker Paul Ryan announced he would not seek re-election in November. Karen Kafa is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
This is a job that does not last forever.
The Speaker of the House will step aside.
This year will be my last one as a member of the House.
Paul Ryan announced Wednesday he will not seek re-election as congressman for Wisconsin's 1st District, a seat he's held since 1999. Ryan informed his staff and fellow Republican lawmakers before addressing the media.
You all know that I did not seek this job. I took it reluctantly, but I have given this job everything that I have. and I have no regrets whatsoever for having accepted this responsibility.
President Trump signed a new anti-sex trafficking bill into law earlier today. The bipartisan measure paves the way for victims to hold websites accountable if the sites knowingly facilitate sex trafficking. Some sites that facilitate sex trafficking have shut down, and Craigslist has shut down its personal ads section. The Justice Department on Monday announced a 93-count indictment against several people tied to major trafficking platform Backpage.com. The bill received support from President Trump's daughter Ivanka, who made the fight against human trafficking a priority of her own. In case you missed it, Mount Pleasant police are currently looking for a suspect involved with urinating in the Shell gas station on the corner of Broomfield and Mission. Police have been following up on multiple tips, but have not been able to make contact with the suspect. Another Detroit team was in action last night as the Detroit Red Wings faced off against the Philadelphia Flyers. This game was not without intrigue as Philadelphia tied the game up with 5 minutes left after an official review. We jump right to the shootout with the highlights. On the first attempt of the shootout, Franz Nielsen takes the puck up for the Wings, and he rips one past goalie Alex Lyon, giving his team a 1-goal lead. And on the last shot attempt for Philadelphia, Nolan Patrick is bringing it up, but Jimmy Howard manages to make the save for the Wings, giving Detroit the 5-4 win. Bill Cosby is back in court today for his retrial. This is the first time the former comedian has been in court in over 6 months. The case in Pennsylvania will hang on the word of Andrea Constand. Constand says she was at Cosby's home near Philadelphia in January 2004 when she says he drugged her and then assaulted her. Cosby's first trial ended in a hung jury. His attorneys argued Cosby and Constand had a consensual sexual relationship, and they questioned her version of what happened. Just before Cosby walked into the courthouse, a topless woman jumped over the barricade and started chanting. The protester had names written on her body as well as the phrase, "Cosby is a rapist." Authorities have charged the 39-year-old woman with disorderly conduct. Self-help guru Tony Robbins is apologizing for comments he made criticizing the Me Too movement. At one of his events, Robbins claimed some abuse victims are using the movement to, quote, make themselves significant. Jamie Yukas is in Los Angeles with how that woman is responding to the apology.
I'm not knocking the Me Too movement. I'm knocking victimhood.
Tony Robbins, who claims to have helped tens of millions of people from 100 countries, said some were misusing the Me Too hashtag.
If you use the Me Too movement to try to get significance and certainty by attacking and destroying someone else, you have to grow an ounce.
Nanine McCool, a fan from the audience, challenged his views.
You are a leader and an influential man.
Yes.
And you are doing a disservice, in my opinion, to the Me Too movement.
The towering 6'7" Robbins then invited McCool to take part in an exercise to make his point.
Put out your fist. Why are you pushing back? I didn't tell you to push back. Why are you pushing back? Why are you pushing so hard? So you're telling me that the harder I push, the more you're going to comply and I'm going to be safe. When you push someone else, it doesn't make you more safe. It just makes them angry.
Robbins then shared a story suggesting the Me Too movement was hurting women.
I just with someone the other day, very famous man, very powerful man, who's saying how stressed he is because he interviewed 3 people that day. One was a woman, 2 were men. The woman was better qualified, but she was very attractive, and he knew I can't have her around because it's too big a risk, and he hired somebody else.
Me Too founder Tarana Burke said Robbins' misogyny runs deep. She tweeted, "If you talk to more survivors and less sexist businessmen, maybe you'll understand what we want." During the event, Robbins stood by his comments.
I'm not going to be inauthentic and say I'm sorry about something I'm not sorry about. I'm not sorry for all.
But after widespread condemnation on social media, the self-help guru said Sunday he agreed with the goals of Me Too and asked for forgiveness. Sometimes the teacher has to become the student, and it is clear that I still have much to learn.
I think it's a good start.
McCool, who identifies as a childhood sex abuse survivor, is encouraged by Robbins' change of heart.
He might come kicking and screaming into the light, but as long as he's headed this direction, I'm good with it.
Robbins did not personally apologize to McCool, and she tells us she does not need it or expect it. We did reach out to Tony Robbins and have not heard back. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Thank you, and I hope you guys are all planning to head on out and enjoy our last sunny day here and also our dry conditions that we have for us this evening. We have thunderstorms moving through into the late evening hours and into tomorrow morning. So you should really get out there and enjoy what we've got left, because even this weekend we are looking at some messy conditions. Rain, snow, and even freezing rain. Taking a look though at temperatures right now, 53 degrees. So it is beautiful outside, but we're going to move into that 7-day forecast, and we notice that we see 80% chance of rain tomorrow, 50% chance of rain to Friday, and then branching out even further, we see that we have more rain in our forecast. So that is just going to continue on all the way into next Wednesday. So brace yourselves for that.
That is all the time we have tonight. Please be sure to follow us on our Facebook and Twitter pages. I'm Kylie Gaddy.
And I'm James Young. For Samantha Droop and the rest of the News Central 34 staff, have a good night.